Councillor Darby and I hear really clearly that seems to be the one clause that is causing the major issue, and that will be the one that will need greater clarification on, as per Councillor Fletcher's. Councillor Fletcher's.
That's what he's saying.
Okay, wow. I was going to say it might be time for a tea break, but I don't think so quite yet. I've got Councillor Cooper and Councillor Casey, and then I think we'll move to the recommendation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I did ask, my speaking before was just to ask some questions, and I felt quite satisfied with that. I guess in the end, I mean, it'd be a terrible thing if this was by division. I think that in the end, of course, Councillor Lee is exactly right about the fact that we have the chance to question. But for me, it's not a question of whether we have Māori culture, aspirations, whatever, in or out. It's about what is the impact, how we deal with impact. Is it a resource issue? Do we have enough resources or not? Are we willing to put them in? And so for me, those questions answered that for me. And I agree with, the other people that said, Māori Indigenous culture and tikanga is the absolute point of difference for us. And to me, that's really important in what we have reflected in Auckland, because when people come here, this is the only place they're ever going to see that. And people from overseas love it, but actually lots of New Zealanders love it too. And we've got to move away from this. The kids that are growing up now, it's just part of their life. A lot of us, when we grew up, I had a few Maoris in my school, and one of my girlfriends was, but for most of us, the urban drift was in the 60s and 70s, so we didn't grow up with it a lot. So it's a bit, you can't help having a natural pushback sometimes, but I think as representatives of all of the region, we have got to try and stifle a bit of that pushback just for the sake of it. But anyway, and I'll support the recommendations, Madam Chair. I hope it's not lost, and I hope we don't have to go to a division, because that's a pretty poor show. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cooper. I've got Councillor Casey, then Member Taipiri, and then
it's on another matter. If you could come back to me after the vote, please.
Okay, all good. Member Taipiri.
Kia ora, Madam Chair. So I just wanted to say that I would support Councillor Darby's approach in terms of working through the advice of the Independent Māori Statutory Board, because I clearly got the picture today that the facts need to be aligned next to the requests. And I'm confident there's factual basis for that supported by law. So if that's what it takes, I'm happy to support that, Madam Chair, and hopefully that will help address some of the matters that Councillor Fletcher has raised today, because this is fundamental, and if it's not addressed, this is going to go round and round and round forever. And then we'll just have to find another way to resolve it. But I want to be able to share that I will want to support the particular recommendation because I have an expectation that along that process you will work with the Independent Māori Statutory Board on any clarification around that advice we've provided.
Okay. I've got Councillor Wood, Councillor Filipaina, and then Councillor Darby will close the debate. Councillor Darby, I'm just going to ask if we add in Councillor Walker has advised or has asked for the slight extension of time. It's my understanding from the staff that that's okay.
Through you, Madam Chair, I don't see any problem with extending out to October. As mentioned earlier, the only challenge we have in that context is around the Civic Administration Building and the process there, which has a critical path around it.
That's a separate process.
So we will elicit information as we go, consultation feedback. So come early October, we'll have a sense of any views around that particular matter in any case.
Right. That would also allow more consultation with iwi.
Yep, that'd be good. So if Councillor Darby and Councillor Cashmore are happy for that to be included, we can just deal with that. Councillor Wood, then Councillor Filipaina.
Yeah, well, I'll be supporting this if I get. It sounds like this quote, in accordance with the Treaty of Waitangi, won't be part of this. I've just looked at the Internal Affairs, the Internal Affairs website, and they say that Part 1 of the Act clarifies that local authorities do not have Treaty of Waitangi obligations under the old Local Government Act, whose responsibilities lie with the Crown. But Part 6 of the Act includes provisions for local government to consult with Māori and involve them in decision-making processes. So I think that, and I've looked at this quite closely. I've been in local government for about 15 or 17 years, and so it's an issue that I think as Councillor Lee says, we have got to look at and scrutinise what is presented to us. And I think this is an issue that goes one step too far. So that's just what I'm saying. And if it's changed, I'll be happy with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wood. Councillor Filipaina.
Chair, I just wanted to say that I'll, after talking to the elected chair of the Independent Māori Statutory Board, that I will be withdrawing the division.
Okay. Kia ora. Thank you. Councillor Darby, you'll close the debate.
Oh, look, thank you, Chair, and thanks, members. Good inputs, a bit testy, but look, that's fun, isn't it? Thanks, Tim and the team, for doing a huge body of work here. Sort of coming away from the points of debate that we've canvassed, members, I can't help but think that the Aotea Quarter, I've been sort of living here in my daytime hours for 2 years now, and I've experienced it being a Devonport resident. I have a close relationship with the city centre, of course, and I spend a lot of my weekends over here. But the Aotea Centre, I've been coming here since I was a student in the 70s, living in Ponsonby. I can't help but it's time for a real lift is upon us. And of course you need a good sound foundation through a framework like this. And Tim's team has done some outstanding work here. I see this area as becoming as seductive as the waterfront has been since the America's Cup hit us back in the 90s, and that woke us up to the opportunity of the waterfront, and look what's happened there now. But there definitely needs to be a shift uptown, up into the Midtown area, and that is happening through in some ways through primarily the CRL, and Aotea Station just over there will become the busiest railway station in the city. It's at the crossroads of linking those in the south to the centre, the south to the west, and east to centre eventually north. It will be the takeoff station, Aotea Station, for rail to the shore in the future. One of the things that cuts through this framework area, which I think has been long forgotten, and I'm sure Mana Whenua will be reminding us of it in their feedback, is the importance of the Waihoratu stream. It's been buried but not forgotten, and I think out of this framework feedback, I think there will be an invitation to us all to physically rediscover that stream. I'd love to see that stream show and flow again. And it's not beyond us, members. We can do it in many ways. But that's something I look forward to out of this work. The framework boundary has been extended. We've realised that the Aotea Quarter is a lot bigger and needs to be bigger. It takes into account the big public space anchor of Aotea Square and Myers Park now, the cultural anchor of the Aotea Centre, the City Library, the Civic, St James, and the cultural and civic functions, and I hear the civic functions have been emphasised here today as well, of the Town Hall, the Civic Administration Building, our own building at 135. Not forgetting the education anchors of this framework area, and we should not ignore those. And the users of those education facilities are big users of the cultural facilities. We know that. It's going to grow. But I do see in the future that this area is really going to be the cement in the arts, cultural and civic stimulation in the city. This is going to be the big central anchor. And it will, in my opinion, be the foundation for the renaissance of this whole area. A lot is going to happen up on the K Road Ridge. It's happened and happening on the waterfront. And here in the Midtown area, this framework will allow this area to lift. There's some bold words in the vision here, and I take the opportunity just to read a few of them out. And I think they are
But
words
not
that
too
we...
many, I hope, Councillor Darby.
They're words that we haven't used before. And we've used the word vibrant and resilient, but a place to indulge the senses, imagine that. And this is not just going to theatre, but this is actually looking at the built environment that shows up here, and that built environment also indulges our senses. I anticipate some outstanding development in this area to come, and look forward to the renaissance of the Midtown through this framework. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, councillor Darby. So with that, I will put the recommendation.
Kathy?
Oh, sorry, councillor Casey, I thought you...
Just a
No,
little
councillor Casey, that's why I asked you, because councillor Darby has actually closed the debate.
I said it was a little thing not related to the debate.
you
Could
said
you
it
come
was
back
not-
to me? And you said yes.
Sorry, I thought you said it was not related to the item. I misheard you.
Okay.
Okay.
You know the question about homelessness, it's great that it's in there, but the question reads, what, if anything, could the council and its partners do to assist rough sleepers in the area? Could we take out the if anything, because it doesn't actually do anything? So it's what could the council and its partners do to assist? Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Wonderful. Cool. I'll put that. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against. Thank you very much. It's carried. I'm going to just ask for a 5-minute adjournment, just very quick, chance for people to freshen up. Councillor Cooper seconds that. I'll put that. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. Thank you very much.